All right, good morning, guys. Ohio gozaimasu. Welcome to my very first video on my channel. I'm Frank, and welcome to Baka, Tsuri. You can read the title. It's Baka, Tsuri Gaijin, which is basically idiot fishing foreigner. I am a foreigner. I live in Japan. It's beautiful. And I say I'm an idiot fisherman because I don't speak or read Japanese, and somehow I'm managing to do this. I wanted to make a channel. There's a million channels out there about fishing. What's unique about this channel and why you should watch this channel is I'm trying to educate you, number one, about Japan, number two, about fishing, number three, about the culture and what it relates to fish, and all the little intricacies and details and awesomeness of Japan. I love it here. So basic intro about myself. My name's Frank. I'm going to be turning 40 years old this year. I retired from the military. I spent too many years in there, so I ache, hurt, all that good stuff. Married to my awesome wife, who is fluent in Japanese. Big help, because I'm a baka, an idiot. And I have a 3-year-old son, who is my life. I love everything about him, and I try and incorporate fishing in. And when it's actually warmer, we like to go. All right, so we live in Nagasaki Prefecture in a city called Sasebo. It's known for a few things: big Navy base, Japanese and American. Obviously, after the war, the Americans came. Number two, it's where the towers transmitted the message from Pearl Harbor. So it's kind of unique. And number three, world-class burgers. When the Americans came here in the 40s, 50s, the Japanese really took a liking to our cuisine. So, awesomeness. All right, so that's my basic intro. I liked fishing when I came back to Japan after originally coming to Japan, then going to Italy, then coming back to Japan. I got into fishing because I was like, hey, I'm about to retire. I'm old. I need to do something. Yeah, good stuff. All right, so second thing I wanted to talk about today on our first video is life in Japan. Give you a basic understanding of where I'm at in Japan, because some people think Japan and all they can know is Tokyo. Tokyo's awesome. Tokyo is a mega city. Correct me if I'm wrong, it's the world's largest city. It is a huge metro. In my opinion, it's actually a problem because everybody in the rural areas, where, like in the areas that I live, they want to go to Tokyo and they leave their areas. So population declines, but it all moves up there. And then, as we can see, during earthquakes and tsunamis, on a side note, I'm praying for everybody up in Ishikawa and Noto Peninsula, because a couple days ago they got rocked pretty hard by an earthquake and tsunami. Tsunami didn't do too much damage, but the earthquake definitely did. And you see why people move to Tokyo, because they're in older buildings and stuff like that. But anyways, so I live on the island of Kyushu. If you look at a map, which I'm going to try and put down there, the large island is Honshu. Northern island, we're Sapporo. Yes, Sapporo beer. That's Hokkaido. And I live on the bottom, which is Kyushu. I live on the bottom western side in Nagasaki Prefecture. I'm about an hour away from Nagasaki City itself, and it's comprised of a bunch of islands. Okay, one thing that's really cool here is that you can actually buy books breaking down your prefecture and all the cool spots and what type of fish come through, what time of year they come through. That's actually pretty cool. So you can see here, I'll put it up on the screen, but there's a map of Nagasaki Prefecture. You can see a lot of islands in there, a lot of bridges. I really like this area. My wife, who's more of a city person, she's kind of goes stir crazy here, but I like it because it's country and you're about an hour and a half away from a major city in Fukuoka. And that's where our international airport is. I'm originally from LA, so an hour and a half, not that far, because LA traffic. Gotta love it. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about was fishing in Japan. So as I said, I'm here in Nagasaki. What is unique about Nagasaki, especially Nagasaki Prefecture, compared to the rest of Japan? We have large migrations of fish come through. So depending on the season, right now it is January. We just had New Year's. You'll see some of my videos coming out saying how it's Christmas time or saying it's November. That's because I've been filming for quite a while and I didn't want to miss out on some of those migrations. Right now we're in a lull area, but in a few weeks, yellowfin and kingfish tuna are going to start moving through here. Depending on the currents, where they're going, the different temperatures, because south of us is Okinawa where it's very warm, and a lot of game fish go down there to mature or to raise young, and then they'll head back up to colder waters as spring and summer come through. We get flows, rifts, and tides of all these fish coming through. So fall we'll get mahi-mahi. You can catch them from shore. I say that again, you can catch them from shore. That is absolutely nuts. There's only like one other place in the world that I know of like that. Not counting Okinawa, because you can do it in Okinawa as well. We get kingfish, as I've heard my Australian counterparts say, also known as yellowtail or albacore, blue maguro, that type of tuna. You get snapper, which they call marai here. You get sea bass, Spanish mackerel, grouper, shark, you name it, squid, you name it, it's here. Beauty about this area is, and you'll see in some of the videos, 99% of all promotional videos are filmed here in Nagasaki Prefecture. All my friends, my tomodachi out on the charter boats, they constantly host TV programs and guest speakers and all that to showcase their products. Whether it's Rise Japan, awesome guys, I highly promote those dudes. Shimano, Daiwa, D-Claw, which is here in Japan. Just an array of different companies come through and they like to show the efficiency of their products, whether it's off of shore, on boat, on kayak, you name it. It's amazing. That's one of the key reasons it's been in the back of my mind to do this for quite a while. So I really want to hammer home, and I'm going to try and have an episode not only on each type of fishing, and I'll break those down kind of slowly right now. So right there, that's ISO fishing. As crazy as it seems, you get on a boat, you take all your gear, they drop you on a rock like that, and then they come back in a day or two. It's kind of nuts. It's pretty extreme to me, but the majority of people who do that are in their 50s, 60s. It's kind of nuts. But because of the type of fishing in this area, you can do that pretty well. A lot of the cliffs just basically drop off. All right, obviously we have charters here, so you can go out on a boat. No difference from in the States, Mexico, anywhere else. Pure fishing. So that guy right there, he is doing, for small game, I'm going to show you that in a second. That is something that is very unique to Japan, invented basically here in Japan. And most of the products for that type of fishing, which is very popular here in Asia, come from there. Sorry, I'm trying to show you guys unique stuff. All right, this is another type of rock shore movement. This is basically they're setting up their rods with the steel pin into the rock, and they're letting live fish come off of it or dead bait, and they'll get groupers the size of a minivan. I'm not about that because I'm not trying to get dragged in. And then some more ISO fishing. Like to just really hammer home the geography and the type of land base there. As you can see, this is a very mountainous area that I live in. One of the key reasons, unfortunately, well, fortunately, but unfortunately because of the war, when the atomic bomb hit Nagasaki, it didn't really work as well as it did up in Hiroshima in the fact of, you know, decimation, which I think that's a great thing because that was just unfortunate that those things went down. But it didn't do as much because the land was like this. You'll see it in a video later on how Nagasaki looks. It's very almost just like straight shot into the sea, and then there's a bay. And so most of the prefecture is like that. My house is like that. I'm literally like on a plateau, and it shoots right down, plateaus again, and then it's into the sea. So makes for a great sunrise, and I get lots of sunshine. Sorry for the lighting, but yeah, so we're gonna go over lots of type of fishing here. I'm gonna break this down in a few seconds here. But the next thing I really wanted to talk about was culture. Okay, so culture. Everybody knows about sushi. Everybody knows about sashimi. And I'm not talking about California roll. I'm not talking about a dragon roll. I'm not talking about all this stuff with just layers of mayo and sauce and stuff like that. Okay, so major foods, the staples of Japanese diet is rice and fish. Just bottom line. Of course, they have beef here. Very famous up in Kobe for the Kobe beef. All sorts of bakeries, all sorts of stuff. Even McDonald's is great here because they prepare it a little differently, and they do seasonal type of foods and things like that, whether it's cherry blossoms or strawberries or peaches or whatever, or you know, your $75 mango. It does exist here. Fish is a giant centerpiece of culture, whether it is the Maadai red snapper or tuna, which can sell for millions of yen, so tens of thousands of dollars, $100,000, something like that in the Tokyo fish markets, or other types of fish, which is squid. Popular dish here is squid that is alive, that's all cut up sashimi, and it's twitching. I'm not about that, but it's a thing if you want to do it. Fishing, in my opinion, other than camping, is the biggest hobby here in Japan, just because of culture, just because you can go out, whether you're a guy or a girl, you can have your hobby, catch something, and then you can eat it. Because unlike some of the other places that I've lived, not talking down on them, I wouldn't eat the fish that I caught, especially in my home state of California. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it. The water is dirty. As a surfer growing up, you know, your eyes burn, so not going to do it. Here, water's crystal clear. Hardly any contamination in it. If there is, it's blasted all over the news, and people know for a little while because of the current. Just let it go through, do your thing, and then you can get back to it. But I take home mountains of fish, we eat it, we sashimi it up, we cook it, we learn from different classes that are provided at our community centers, city hall, stuff like that, or even just YouTube, on how to cook, prepare, and do stuff like that. So there's a lot of economic resources on it. So biggest companies in Japan, by far, Daiwa, Shimano. Everybody knows Shimano. Shimano does a lot of other things like bicycles, even car parts, stuff like that. I don't know what Daiwa does other than that. But obviously they make all sorts of different products. I have my fishing poles there. And then there's other big time companies out here. We go to a convention here in Kyushu. The convention, major one for Japan, is up in Yokohama. My prior home, the first time I was up there, or here. That's a huge convention up there in a couple weeks. And then it'll move to Kyoto, and then later on in the year it comes down here to Kyushu. But it'll broadcast all the products that are going on for the year, their new updates, whether it's boats, kayaks, fishing poles, lures, new companies, breakthroughs. They're investing so much money into new technologies because they're bringing in so much money. It's almost developing the rest of the world as far as fishing. And people are like, are you sure? It seems like when you hear stuff like that, it's really mind-boggling, because you're like, yeah, you're just putting bait out and you're catching. But no, it's a lot more into that. It's talking using old school techniques, old school materials, just not plastics. They're moving away from that. Trying to use more biodegradable stuff. Using stronger fishing line or fishing line that actually biodegrades, using better gears on your fishing, reels and rods, so it's easier, or it's less invasive. It doesn't have the potential to kill the fish if you want to release it. New techniques, because some people are developing all these different things. And one of the coolest things that I found this year, I don't know if it's new technology or not, but they have a flashlight that shows you any parasites in the flesh of the fish. They bright glow like neon yellow. I was like, what? I saw that at the convention. Super hard to get because it's basically a starter up company. So if I see it again, I'm gonna try and get on it. But convention's really cool. I'll try and post some footage. I think it comes in like April, May time. I'm definitely going again. Had an awesome time. I met so many cool people. And because you're a foreigner here in Japan, it's a cool thing. So a lot of Japanese that do speak English, which is it's not a super common thing. They want to be friends with you. All right, so the last thing I want to talk about on today's video, just because this is an intro, it's an overshoot. I have a lot of friends in the different fishing shops here in the area, whether it's local fishing shops or the major chains. The two major chains here are Point and Kamea. I'm going to talk about Point real quick. So depending on the time of the year, we just went through New Year's. They have, and for me, that's when I shop the most because they have lots of discounts. They have lots of promotional gear, stuff like that. Like this bag I got from Point. They're known, this is their mascot. Just basic stuff. I got this during Golden Week, which is in spring. My son uses it for his swimming class. So, you know, stuff that you can actually use. I really like their store. They're super friendly. There's a lot more locations of Point here in Kyushu, and they're a national chain. The other one that's a national chain is Casting. There's only 1, 2 here in Kyushu. One I know for sure in Fukuoka. They are the Walmart of fishing. I'm talking, you're gonna go and you're gonna spend at least an hour just walking around. Probably 35 aisles of just specified gear, whether it's bass fishing, freshwater, saltwater, rods, you name it. I go there mostly for apparel, hats, stuff like that, because the other companies that I go to, stores that I go to, don't have as much as that. So it's pretty nice. The other major one that I go to is Kamea. They were the calendar that I just showed you. That is their logo. They do lots of community service type stuff because they are a Kyushu only company. I love Kamea. After every 200 bucks that you spend there, you get a $5 coupon. That is awesome. You get a little more kickback in that way. And I go there quite a bit because there's a few people at the store that love my son, and they always buy him drinks. So stuff like that, you always look forward to. I'm just going to showcase a couple of the quick products here that I use. So like my shock leader, 80 pound, I use 50 pound, 40 pound test, things that are super common here in Japan. So I use Daiwa line. It's every 10 meters, so 30 feet in American. It changes color. This is a braid. You have to wear special gloves or this is going to literally cut through you, because when I do say braid, it's a braid of like this polymer material. We're going to go through egging. So egging is the specified lures that look like shrimp. They are for squidding. Huge here in Japan. Probably the highest income of any type of fishing here, because anyone can do it, whether you're from boat, shore. Really good friends with the guy that owns one of the companies here. Great guy. They are based out of Yokosuka, so the naval base up there, but they do everything down here. Tie rubber. So tie rubber is something that is very unique to Japan. I didn't even know about it until I came here. If you're watching this from Australia, you know all about this if you're out on charter boats, but it's a heavy base lure. Like this is 120 gram. So quite heavy. You're floating this behind there and you're bringing it up. Looks very much like a shrimp or some type of crustacean, maybe small octopus, snapper, all day long. They love that. I showed you the mini jigging. And when I say mini jigging, these are mini jigging. We're talking not even a gram weight head. That is a local company here. I try and support the local guys, even though some of the others. Here's another local one. Old Man makes this. These are very specified. So this is wood with a lead weight in there, and you skim this across the top. This is what you use to catch mahi here. Kills it. You'll see some of my photos. Unfortunately, I didn't get video from there, but I'm going to take you to the sites and show you. And then casting game, either from Rockshore or whatnot. This is a brand called D-Claw out of Osaka. They are huge, literally almost the size of my forearm. But if this is supposed to be a bait fish for something, so this one I literally got like a day ago, this nice popper. They go from anywhere from $50 to $100 per lure, but you can flip them very easily because they are handmade. They are wood. So, but they kill it. I've caught some huge hiramasa, which is kingfish. I'll show you that in that video. Basically, there's a name for every stage of their growth and subspecies and stuff like that. But, okay, I'll cut this video off. We're at the 20-minute mark. I appreciate you guys watching this. I really hope you stay through. I'm going to try and break down every type of aspect of fishing, show you guys some of the cultural aspects of it, show you the different stores here. I just want to really get out the info about Japan, and as far as fishing, because say you do come here one day, or you live here, or you're like, hey, I want to get a new hobby. But even if you just come out here and you're like, oh, we're going to Okinawa, we're coming out for a month. I know that's really long, but you know, we're going to spend so much time in Tokyo, so much time in Osaka, so much time. You're actually coming down to Kyushu, or you're going down to Okinawa, the paradise of all paradises. You can see some of the things that you could, because hey, you do have the opportunity to jump on a charter or go out to a pier and just fish. And some of the places that you go to, you can actually rent a pole. Or if you know a Japanese friend here, they might just lend you your stuff for a day or whatnot and enjoy a great day out on the water. All right, so that being said, thank you for watching the video. I hope everybody had a great holiday. I look forward to seeing you very soon, and later.